Biden wants to fight Trump. That is the story of the week. This would be the greatest day for the makers of Ben Gay.
When a guy who ended up becoming our national leader said, I can grab a woman anywhere and she likes it, and then said, I didn't make a mistake, but they asked me, would I like to debate this gentleman? And I said, no. I said, if we were in high school, I'd take him behind the gym and beat the hell out of him.
That is some tough talk. I'd kick your ass if I were in high school. That's like saying I'd kick your ass if I were a giant clam. It's a biological impossibility. Anyway, Trump took that bait faster than Kevin Spacey on the set of To Catch a Predator. The original joke was worse. All right? Just remember that. Trump tweeting that Biden would go down hard and crying all the way. Now, Biden was speaking at a rally against sexual assault, urging responsibility, but that message was drowned because these two want to throw down. The former VP and the current president of the United States of America. Biden's 75, Trump is 71. Together, that's like 300 years. Two old guys fighting shirtless. It'd be like watching two pieces of driftwood grappling in low tide. Or two tube socks packed with prunes tumbling in a dryer. But I'd watch it. I'd watch every second of it. Imagine the pay-per-view.
Are you ready for an early bird brawl, a melee of the mature, a Geritol free-for-all, a fix-it-at fracas, and non-stop action with two men in traction? Then set your life alerts to stun because it's the
Battle of the Really Old Guys 2020.
With the combined age of 150 years, it's Joe the Curmudgeon Bludgeon Biden versus Donald Knuckle Sandwich Trump.
It's a feud among fossils, a bout with potential for gout, an altercation featuring an omelet station.
They were born before computers. They can remember when people rode horses, and they get colonoscopies regularly.
Good for them because it's really important.
You've never seen a rumble this slow. This senior scrap is
12 rounds of awkward sounds,
a clumsy tussle requiring
frequent bathroom breaks,
and the first 100 people to arrive get a
lifetime supply of butterscotch candy.
So grab your Ensure and your most comfortable orthotics, because it's the
Battle of the Really Old Guys 2020.
Featuring an undercard match between Liz Pokin' Pocahontas Warren versus Brawlin' Betsy DeVos.
Now, this is all fantasy. They're not really going to fight. For one thing, neither of them want to mess up their hair. But if this is Joe's audition to take on Trump in 2020, I think he's making a mistake. He's trying to steal voters from Trump, and this is what he lifts from him, his least appealing trait. Trump's got better ones, his strong stance on terror, his love for law and order, his fun rallies. That's why we live with Trump's often rough talk. Believe me, if we weren't getting lower unemployment or tax cut bonuses and talks with North Korea, Trump the personality wouldn't be half as popular. Fact is, everyone has a talent. A skunk has one, a peacock has one, but a skunk can't impersonate a peacock, or vice versa. So Joe, stick to what you know, like hugs. Here we go. Look at that. Okay. Goes on a little too long. He won't. Yep. There it is. She's feeling uncomfortable. Yep. All right. Enough. He just can't let go.
Period.
All right. Let us welcome tonight's guest. He's so bright, you'll see spots when he leaves. He's the leading philosopher, psychologist, and all-around godfather of the internet. His YouTube channel has almost 1 million subscribers. His latest book is 12 Rules for Life. It's University of Toronto psychology professor Jordan Peterson. All right. He's nailed more roles than a perverted baker. The great actor, Daniel Roebuck. He's got an excellent new film out called Getting Grace. She's no waitress, but she brings a lot to the table. National Review reporter Kat Dimpf. And he can't play hide and seek. Impact wrestler and my massive sidekick, Tyrus. Dr. Peterson, you are a psychologist, a renowned psychologist. If you look at America as a patient, how would you diagnose it when you see how our political, all the political conflicts are going now?
Split personality, obviously.
Yes, definitely. Yeah. Yeah. Tribal?
Increasingly.
Yeah.
Yeah. I think that might be driven by the failure of the standard media, at least to some degree.
Mm-hmm. You mean CNN?
Yeah. Sure.
You don't mean Fox News, do you?
No, I definitely don't need Fox News. Yeah. Well, I think that as readership and viewership shrinks, it's easier to use clickbait and to use tactics of indignation to attract decreasing viewership. And that might be driving the polarization to some degree.
Yeah.
That's partly a technological transformation.
Yeah, it seems like in terms of polarization, people are seeking order out of chaos, right? They like to hear the things that they want to hear, and that's just the way. Isn't that how we all are? We just like to be around people that are like us.
Yeah, well, we in the past we've been able to maintain a reasonably civil dialogue.
Yeah.
Like, I haven't seen things this polarized, I don't think, since the 1970s, since the early 1970s.
Yeah.
And so it's kind of an ugly mess, and I think a large part of that, I do believe, is driven by the universities and their continual production of people who are radically left in their political orientation. So.
Yeah. The identity politic that is now putting the group before the individual.
Yeah, it's a terrible thing to do that, and it is an invitation to tribalism, and tribalism is an invitation to conflict. So you'd think that one of the great achievements of the West, as far as I'm concerned, is that we figured out a long time ago, maybe several thousand years ago, that the individual should always be superordinate to the state. Right? That's the great discovery of Western civilization.
All right, Professor Dan.
Yeah. I was a doctor and lost, Dr. Arst. So I have that going.
You were a doctor and lost.
I was nowhere near as smart as Dr. Preston Jordan, though. But I am intrigued by this whole idea that we love sports, and that's tribalism, right?
Right.
We're all into that.
Yes.
So we've done that, and I always thought that maybe was the thing that we put instead of like fighting. We all had sports teams.
Yeah.
Am I wrong? I don't know. I just came up with. I was trying to act smart. Oh, thank you.
You did a great job. You did
I was so nervous, so I wanted to.
You are an actor.
You're a fantastic
well, with sports,
actor.
at least everybody plays by the same rules, right? So there's an overarching theme of cooperation.
Right. We all.
So that's
a
big deal, and we could get along tribally as long as we had an overarching system of cooperation, and at least in principle, that was respect for the individual. But now that in itself is under attack, and that's a very bad thing.
Yeah.
Yeah. Tyrus?
Huh.
What you think?
I'm processing still. I'm more upset about that you think everyone wants to hang around people that look and act like them. You know how lonely I would be? I'm looking for a 6'8", black and Scottish powerlifter conservative. Just be walking just sad all the time. Like, man, like my best friend be Sudan who just passed away, the rhino. That'd be it. There's nothing. I mean, I think, and here, this is the media's fault again. CNN and the super left, even if you don't, they're shoving people in the fight.
Right.
Biden actually made those comments before the election. And he was at a rally where it came up, and he explained why, because he was talking about how important and how strongly he felt against men saying inappropriate things towards women and doing things, and we all know about the grabbing and whatever, and that was the issue. They just took that and were like, he wants to fight Trump.
Yeah.
He's going to run for president. Biden's probably like, damn, I was just accepting some money at a rally, just making some, they literally are just trying to push anybody into a fight with Trump. And
that was the first time he said it, not this latest time we're talking about.
Yeah, he said it before, and they brought it back like it was brand new.
Right.
He was retelling the story of what he said before, but that information is not needed because maybe we could throw him to fight Trump. Nobody wants to fight Trump right now. Nobody wants to go. No one wants to start running for president now.
Well,
it's completely. You're going to be forgotten.
Nobody can do Trump well, Kat, except for Trump. Like, you can't, if he can be pretty rough and sloppy with his rhetoric, if you try to do it, then he comes right after you.
I think we saw that in the debates. Remember when little Marco tried to be tough and he just ended up looking absolutely ridiculous? I just wanted to say that normally I would love to watch two 70-something-year-old men fight.
Yes.
However, not when my tax dollars are paying for at least one of their medical expenses. I will not allow this. I will not allow this.
You know, maybe President Obama was right about Obamacare. Maybe he was just planning for this fight.
But you think, so, like, would they fight by the Marquess of Queensberry rules? That's, you know, we're talking about, like, would they both be, okay, agree, with no punching of the face, we just, you know.
This is a good point. We got to wrap it up. But you know what? This is progress. It's not a duel. Like, we've moved from duels to fists. But then, who's the dude that, what's the Hamilton? You could make a musical out of this. Aaron, yeah, like it is Hamilton, Aaron Burr, right? I don't know my history. All I know is that they rapped back then. According to the musical.
Go to commercial. Stop.
Go to commercial. Stop. Am I in trouble?